Hello there. In today's video I'll be going over this scenario. What if Obi Wan joined Anakin in Revenge of the Sith? In this, what if would start during the fight between Anakin and Obi Wan, when the two share some interesting dialogue. Before we start, please like and subscribe so you can be notified of my latest video and so YouTube pushes out my channel to more people. With all that out of the way, let's get into the video. The fight between Anakin and Obi Wan plays out the same way as it did in the movie until they land on the platforms above the lava. They would share each saber swing until they take a breather. "I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you," says Obi Wan. "I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over," responds Anakin. "Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil," replies Obi Wan. "From my point of view, the Jedi are evil," says Anakin, shouting back at Obi Wan. Now, instead of Obi Wan saying the line he did in the movie, he would question Anakin and want to know more about his point of view. Qui-Gon didn't obey the council because he knew that they have steered away from what the Jedi are meant to be. The council have lied, manipulated, and tried to control the Senate, which isn't the reason for their existence. The Jedi have gone too far in this time, and they cannot come back from their mistakes. Obi-Wan would look around rapidly since he sees the point where Anakin is coming from but is conflicted on which side to choose. "It is not too late, Master. You can join me and we can destroy the Chancellor and rule the galaxy, make things the way they should be, not what the Jedi have enforced upon us." Obi-Wan and Anakin would pass the high ground, and Kenobi would find himself struggling to choose since he is unsure which side is the lesser evil. Anakin would notice the ledge and would inform Obi-Wan that they would have to jump onto solid surface. Anakin would shut off his lightsaber and hold out his hand. "Please, Obi-Wan," says Anakin in desperation. Obi-Wan would think about his next decision and would shut off his lightsaber and choose to join him. "The Jedi have lost their way, but you must know I will not join Palpatine," says Obi-Wan, staring at Skywalker. "I understand. There is much work ahead of us," replies Anakin, as they make their way back up to the ships. As they make their way towards the ships, Anakin would tell Obi-Wan the reason as to why he chose to join Darth Sidious. Kenobi would look at him in confusion, saying, "Don't you think Yoda would have found a way since he is nearly 1,000 years old?" Anakin would look away and state his reasons as to why he never said anything about it. Yoda would have just said the same thing as before if he knew that kind of power. Kenobi would slightly agree to Anakin's statement, and Obi-Wan would be ready to give up the Jedi ways but not fully form into a Sith since he still believed in protecting the innocent. Two of them would see Palpatine's ship fly in, and Anakin would tell Obi-Wan to stay on high alert in case anything happens. "Follow my lead," says Anakin to Obi-Wan as Palpatine appears from the ship. Palpatine would be confused as to why Obi-Wan is not dead, and he would look at Anakin and the Sith Lord would cackle. "You betray me," says Sidious as he grabs his lightsaber. Anakin and Obi-Wan would ignite their sabers. "Your rule is at an end," says Kenobi. The three of them would engage in combat, and Palpatine would severely underestimate the power of Kenobi, so he unleashed his full power upon both of the fallen Jedi. The fight would be the most intense we've seen on screen. Palpatine would struggle in the fight, and in the end Anakin and Obi-Wan would point their lightsabers to his neck. "Any last words?" says Anakin, staring down at him. "You think everything will be better when I'm gone? Sorely mistaken, Skywalker." Without letting him continue, he would kill Palpatine in one swift swing straight through his abdomen. Anakin and Kenobi would make their way up to Padme and her ship and take her back to Coruscant to give birth to Leia and Luke. Now, there are many ways this story could go, but I decided to go with this route. The Empire would scatter their troops across the entire galaxy looking for Jedi to place in the new prison on Nur. Obi-Wan would eventually be sent to the prison to select Jedi with decent midichlorian counts, and Kenobi would train them into becoming Inquisitors. And he would be in charge of the entire operation. He would let Obi-Wan train Luke and Leia to the point where they hit their teens to mid-teens, and that's where Anakin would take over and show them the full power of the dark and light side. Anakin's power level would eventually become similar to my last what if, and he would be able to use the Force to drain life. Kenobi would then sneak around the temple library and search for anything related to the Sith and train himself in the ways of the dark side, become a much better match against Anakin if needed. Obi-Wan would favour Luke considering he's been neglected by his own father, so Kenobi would teach Luke everything he had learnt to try and make him impress his father and to be more on Obi-Wan's side. After a few more years, Obi-Wan would realise the danger of which Anakin is to the universe and would train the Inquisitors and much more intensely to try and combat against Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan would take himself, Luke and the Inquisitors to the temple and would confront Anakin in the council chambers. "So you have come to betray me," says Anakin as he looks up to everyone. "You have gone too far this time, and I have to stop this," replies Obi-Wan as Anakin stands up. They all have their lightsabers in hand except for Anakin. "You really think I wouldn't know what you've been doing? I've had a spy amongst you and to report back to me whenever something new occurred," and Anakin says as Obi-Wan starts feeling stressed about the situation. "Step forward, my spy, and let Kenobi rave in pain," shouts Anakin. The person eventually walks up to Anakin, and it's none other than Luke Skywalker. Obi-Wan looks down with such sadness, knowing he's brought himself and the Inquisitors here to die by Anakin's hand. Anakin would use what he's learnt to drain the life from the Inquisitors, but not Kenobi, and let Luke battle against Obi-Wan, which would be a very intense duel, but Luke would eventually gain the upper hand and beat Obi-Wan but not kill him. "You understand that at first, Luke didn't stand out much to me, but after this, he can very much take my place in the foreseeable future, which you are not a part of," says Anakin, and he would ignite his lightsaber and then kill Obi-Wan in the council chambers, as Luke watches. "Our empire will forever stand as the strongest this galaxy has ever seen," says Anakin as he looks out of the window next to Luke. "I'm ready to proceed in my training," says Luke as he looks at his father. "We will proceed soon, but let's celebrate as our last major threat has been eliminated, thanks to you." Thank you all for watching. As you can tell, I did take some stuff from my last What If video and put it in this one, since I thought it would make a bit of an interesting story. If you want to see a stop motion version of this, then let me know in the comments, since I'll be doing some stop motion in the future, and I'm currently working on my own stop motion Star Wars story, which I'll talk more about in the future, of course. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button and subscribe, and may the Force be with you.